Namo Siddhanam. Uh, Jai Jinendra, everyone. Welcome to the third webinar session organized by Jain Heritage Centers as part of its 20th anniversary celebrations. In this session, we will have two lectures, one on Jainism in Pakistan and other on Jainism in Cambodia. Before we start the session, let's have a quick overview of our website, jainheritagecenters.com. Jainheritagecenters.com was started on 26 May 2002, about 20 years ago, and it was inaugurated by the renowned Jain and Prakrit scholar Dr. M.D. Vasantaraj in Mysore. And it was founded by Dr. H.A. Parshnath, my father, and myself. And we have about 3,000 pages of research information on Jainism and Jain heritage. It has publications related to Jain heritage, temples, basadis, archaeology, epigraphy, rituals, Jain way of life, events, puja mahotsava, and etc. and others. The website is ranked for over 3,500 Jainism related keywords on search engines globally, that is on different countries. And the content is organized into different sections as Jainism in India, Jainism abroad, dharmashalas, galleries, news, research publications, and so on. And when it comes to the key projects and initiatives that we have undertaken, we have been part of the heritage conservation projects involved in restoration of Jain mandirs or basadis, ideals, and artifacts. And we have brought about awareness while the Digambar Jaina Munis in Tamil Nadu were attacked in 2004. And we were involved during the Venur Bahubali Mahamastaka Abhisheka Mahotsava in 2012. We were part of a team that worked on a documentary on Jainism in Korean language. Then we contributed with some of the images about Jainism and its rituals, particularly Jainism as a living religion, to the first book on Jainism in the Slovakian language. We brought about awareness during the attack on a Jaina monk at Girnar Hill. And we also protested strongly against the wrong portrayal of Lord Bahubali in a Kannada drama called Chakraratna. Then we have been supporting researchers with a lot of research information, articles, and images of different masters and doctoral research in different universities. And we have been part of the committees that were part of the Shravanabelagola Bahubali Mahamastaka Abhisheka Mahotsava 2006-2018. And we have also been involved during the Karkala Bahubali Mahamastaka Abhishek Mahotsava. And to continuing on further more details of our initiatives, we had organized a Jain Heritage and Archaeology Pavilion at Shravanabelagola during the Bahubali Mahamastaka Abhisheka 2018. It was well received and had a footfall of 250,000 people within 15 days. And during the Salaikana issue, we were involved in providing research material about the practice of Salaikana through inscriptional evidences for the case at the Supreme Court of India, which was one of the reasons which helped us get the stay order from the Honorable Court. We were involved in have been part of the organizing committees in a few of the Panchakalyanas and Pratishtha Mahotsav of temples. We had organized a series of webinars in 2020 in coordination with Madras University. In 2001, last year, we organized a series of 8 webinars as part of the Jain Heritage series. And we have also been releasing short videos of 8 to 10 or 10 to 12 minutes with specific focus on a specific inscription or a tirth or a heritage site. Then myself, I've authored a book called Jinayatra, which was published in 2018. It is a collection of research articles on Karnataka's heritage with foreword by Professor Hampa Nagarajaya sir. The book has won the coveted M.A. Jayachandra Award 2020. And now we are about to start the third session, the third webinar, which is part of Jain Heritage Center's 20th anniversary celebrations and an event that is part of the Jain Heritage Festival 2022. And the first speaker of this session is Dr. Muhammad Hameed. He's going to speak about Jainism in Pakistan. And I believe this is a very interesting topic, which was part of the erstwhile Indian province, and also a lot of Jaina history and heritage is connected with this place. And I believe you are all eager to know about this. Now, um, before we start, let me give a quick introduction of Professor Hameed. Uh, like Hameed is a person who comes from a very varied expertise, I should say. He's an archaeologist, historian, museologist, field expert, and a heritage expert. He's also editor of the research journal Ancient Punjab. He's the chairman and associate professor, Department of Archaeology, University of Punjab. He holds a PhD in Gandhara art from Free University, Berlin. The PhD dissertation provides the first catalogue of these objects, study of the origin of miniature portable shrines, their types, iconography, and religious significance are the main features of his research. Articles related to the research areas have been published in recognized journals as well as in many international journals. He is well connected with the national and international circle and has participated in several conferences, workshops, and seminars in countries like Germany, Poland, France, Sweden, Austria, Greece, USA, and China. And in fact, like I have been conversing him for over the past 15 days. I think he has been there in at least 2 to 3 conferences over the past 15 days. That's how much busy a man he is, and that's how much his research has been sought after. He's one of the most sought after persons in the field of archaeology in the field of archaeology. And to continue, he has published more than 30 research papers in the journals of national and international repute. And he's also authored 3 books which are in the press, which are about to be released. His research areas include interfaith harmony in Pakistan, role of built heritage, study of religions, Buddhist art and architecture, Scythian art, Buddhism in Punjab, Jainism in Pakistan, Hindu art and architecture in Pakistan, Punjab archaeology, Sikh heritage of Punjab, and archaeological tourism of Punjab. He has been associated with the Department of Archaeology at the University of Punjab since 2006. Besides teaching, he has a vast administrative experience as head of the department and as a member of several committees. Some of his major contributions include the start of BS program, induction of new faculty members, the start of Dr. Ahmad Hassan Dani lecture series, collaborations with national and international organizations, organizing workshops, seminars, and conferences, and also starting the associate degree program, certificate and postgraduate diploma in archaeological tourism of Pakistan and heritage management. He's also part of the national and international research projects, which include exploration, documentation, heritage mapping, and excavation of the potential archaeological sites. He is the recipient of many scholarships and research grants as well. And when it comes to his specific interest on Jainism, he's been researching on Jainism over the past 5 to 7 years, and he's traveled to many Jain sites in Pakistan. And I think we are all very eager, and we are like many of them over here. They have connected with me one-on-one, and they have told us we would like to see the heritage of Pakistan, the antiquity of Jainism in Pakistan, and how are the shrines over there, because it's a totally unexplored area to many of us. I think Hameed sir, we would look forward to your enlightening lecture and to have a first-hand experience of what Jainism is all about in Pakistan. With this, I'll not let anyone wait for any further. I think we'll let Professor Hameed take over, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nitin ji, for such a generous introduction. I would say I'm just a student of history, religion, and archaeology. Like you mentioned, a couple of hours ago, I was just chairing a session in an international conference between Pakistan and Turkey. So that's why things are very busy. Anyhow, a very good evening. Assalamu alaikum and Jai Jainism to everyone. I'm very happy to be a part of Jain Heritage Festival. We are talking about Jain heritage today, Jainism in Pakistan today, and the word Jainism has now become an integral part of my life and introduction as well. And after my work, I considered myself to be a part of the Jain family all around the world. So thank you, Nitanji and other peoples for inviting me. It is indeed a matter of great pleasure for me to share my research, my humble work, which I have been doing for the last few years. I just like to share my screen. I hope I am audible to everyone and the scene is visible.
Yes, sir. You're audible and
screen is
your
visible.
the screen is visible, sir. Please go to, move on to the
Today's talk
presentation mode.
is about Jainism.
Sir, if you can have it in presentation mode, that would be much visible, sir.
Okay, I'm just doing, maybe the internet connection is, it can get weak.
Yes, sir.
But
This is perfect.
apology for that. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir. It is fine.
Okay. So the topic for today's talk is Jainism and Jain artifacts in Pakistan. I have just taken the liberty to modify the title of my talk. First of all, I would like to acknowledge a very important and loving personalities and institutions which have been involved since I have started my journey with Jainism. I always mention Shri Nirmal Kumar Sethi ji, who left us during the COVID, and then Professor Hampa ji, and then Professor Sulekh ji, Narinder Parsan ji, R.P. Jain and Nitin ji. I feel myself very much honored to be a part of this whole community, and I got a chance to meet so many people, so many legends of Jainism in archaeology who are working for the Jainism. I dedicate this presentation and most of my presentation about Jainism to Shri Nirmal Kumar Sethi ji, who always addressed me with a traditional kind of father and son like relationship. बेटा जी, हमीद जी, आपने ये काम करना है, we are depending upon you. So moving forward, I would like to share details introduction about my talk. I'm just not going to read the whole text. I will share just gist of my talk, the introduction. It's all about the religion and religious studies in Pakistan. When we talk about this religious studies, we do have the syllabus and the courses and the teaching activities in which we do offer courses about Buddhism, Hinduism, Sikhism, Muslim heritage, and so many other things. The thing which is missing, I should admit till now, it's Jain side of the religious study. I'm not a Jain expert. I'm just a Jain archaeologist, you may say that. I just go into the field and explore the areas and try to document it. So in this scenario, Jainism hasn't been, a kind of the religion about which many people and many academicians are familiar. On the other hand, when we see the history of religions in Pakistan, unlike many important religions, you name about Buddhism or Hinduism or even the other religions, Jainism was one of the important and one of the sole religions which remained active till 1947. This is quite unusual because we know that Buddhism got royal patronage, Sikhism also had the significance, and we also know about the Muslim heritage. Those are there, but Jainism, it never ended. This is the beauty of this religion, that this never ended in Pakistan till it was a practicing religion till 1947. After 1947, we don't find Jain people here, but the buildings are there, remnants are there, buildings of all kinds are there. We also have archival records and stories are there. So in order to document, those the heritage, and in order to you know uh, get confirmation of those stories, it was very necessary for me to go into the field and just start exploring it. Of course, my other friends were also exploring, just like Peter Flugel and Muzaffar Ahmed. They did the initial work, but then I took it into another level and I started it from my institution, the institution of Punjab University, which is the biggest university in Pakistan, the oldest university in Pakistan. So that's how a study of Jainism started, Jain heritage started, and it started a new subject in the history of research in Pakistan. So before going into the further details, I would like to share how my journey started with Jainism. It started back in 2012 and 2013 when I was in Berlin in art history department doing my PhD with Professor Dr. Monica Zin. There I met Professor Dr. Kruger, Patrick Kruger. Everyone know about him and his contribution for the Jainism. And that's how we started, he started asking me about Jainism. It was new subject for me. And then meanwhile, I had a chance to meet Professor Hampnaji and other people. So it was the beginning of the journey from where I started and started working upon Jainism. And then the second personality, Shri Nirmal Kumar Sethi ji, who then invited me to Greece to present my paper, my research about Jainism. After completing my PhD in 2015, and I went back and then started exploring the field, which was very new for me. My PhD was on Buddhist art, but then I shifted my whole attention and focus toward Jain art. Once it started, it never ended. It's still on, the journey is still on. And again, I would say I feel myself lucky enough to meet galaxy of the stars everywhere. Jagatram Bhattacharya, Nila Kesiji, and Vasant Shinde, you can see the people. So it was a very good opportunity for me to discuss the potential of Jainism in Pakistan and then take guidance from these people. And that's how you can see many beautiful places here. Also, we have my friends. You can see Gurjesh ji and also Anil Kumar Singh ji. I have been in contact with them. So that's how the encouragement started. And I started creating awareness about Jainism and Jain heritage. And I pushed the students to select the field and started field works with limited opportunities, visited sites and educated the people on the spot as well, arranged talks and seminar specifically about Jainism. I wanted to actually repeat that word so much, Jainism, 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 that everyone should get familiar with this. In the beginning, I had to explain the word what is Jainism, but then I used this strategy to mention it so many places that in the end people recognized it. So that's how it started with uh, uh, interaction with the community. Then we have also academic work, which we started, and then communities, Jain communities around the world, they also invited me. The first thing started with All India Digambar Jain Heritage Organization in India. They invited me. I also completed a course, online course, of course, and then delivered a few talks there. There were challenging tasks, so I will talk about that as the presentation goes ahead. So the works produced so far is that I supervised some theses, MS, MPhil thesis, specifically about Jainism, and I take the pride in saying that these are the first MPhil thesis ever done on Jainism in Pakistan, and it started under my supervision back in 2017, 18, and 19. Some of the students you might know Muhammad Asif, he has now just admitted into a PhD program and he intends to start the PhD as well. He's doing his PhD work in Peshawar University and we are in a connection. But I would also like to mention the name of Muzaffar Ahmad, who did splendid work, did all the archival work, and then guided us where to go. So we have a short project as well, exploration and documentation of Jain heritage in Pakistan, that is also funded by Professor Dr. Sulekh ji, and I'm working with Iqbal ji from Florida University. After this whole activity, I mean, span of 7 years, there were some research questions which are still there, and I'm still looking for the answers. These questions include, I mean, how did Jainism survive till 1947? And both the sects were living side by side. And again, how the religion, it actually silently and continuously remained a popular religion in here in Pakistan. There was no such resistance. I'm also trying to find out what was the reaction to the followers of other faith and how Jains reacted to the violence during partition. These are the questions, research questions. Why do Hindu, Sikhs, Christian decided not to migrate, and why did only Jains migrate? Even when we have no news, no incident reported of any direct or indirect collusion or fight of Jains with any other community, despite the fact that they had contributed a lot to the society and they had strong footing and acceptability. They have contributed in social, political, cultural, and educational side of the society. And to me, Jain community was the backbone of the society. We know that we have people like Shri Acharya Atma Ramji, who were equally respected by followers of all faith. Then what happened? Why they left silently? And here comes the next stage. Once they left, a huge vacuum was created and the society lost its balance. These are all my observations. The velocity of the silence was so strong that it removed all the memories of the Jain and Jainism from the hearts of the people. Even the oral history of the Jain is difficult to reconstruct. So why do they never came back? Again, this is important. Once they left, what was the reason that they didn't come back? Why didn't they take interest? The history of the religion is incomplete to my knowledge without including the section from Pakistan. So why have we disowned the history of heritage in Pakistan? Of course, the scenario has changed now. The work has started, and it's a good beginning for us. And some of the questions I have found the answers, and this made me more kind of strong, and it increased my faith to work more on about the subject as well. So we are trying our level best to work, document, and highlight the contribution and heritage of Jainism, but we have limitations as well. We have problems. Uh, of course, there are problems. Let me take back to your historical background. Jain scholars and followers considering the naked tradition believe Jainism to be the oldest religion in the world, specifically to Indian subcontinent. This is one of the opinion that it has roots in Indus Valley civilization, and historical and archaeological evidences are yet to be presented to convince the groups. And being an archaeologist, now I have started looking into that side as well. Study of the artifacts, keeping in view their relationship with Jainism. So Jainism in Pakistan, we have a rich diversity, rich profile of Pakistan, and we divide into three different phases. The one, if we keep aside the earliest narrative that it is it starts from Indus Valley, but the physical remains we found from Taxla from 2nd century BC. And then we have some sites in Chekwal, and then we come to the second stage, that is between 12th century, not BC, it's CE, sorry. During this period, Jainism found new place in the country, and Tharparkar became the new home. And based upon the richness in the Jain temples, it can be suggested that during the medieval period, Jainism enjoyed high status, and the proper Jain community lived there for centuries. And then we have third and final stage, which I take from Mughals to British period. Specifically talking about present-day Pakistan, and we have sufficient historical evidences as well as the archaeological remains that Jain communities was living in different cities of the country. Numerous Jain temples, community halls, and their other religious and secular buildings have been recorded, which I will share shortly. So Jains in Pakistan, once there is information that this belongs to Jain heritage, and people are not there, then we need that archival record to match that this particular building belongs to the people, but the people who were living before 1947. Then we looked into the census reports, and that's how we found that how many Jains were living and how many. The demographic study, I would say, in Lahore, Rawalpindi, and Sialkot, the study is still in progress. There are problems to trace the historical record, to get hand to the archival records. Sometimes missing, sometimes we are not unable to access. So we are still working on it. Based on that, we identified and then matched these the number of the community with the number of the building in different cities. So there are cities where we have Jain buildings and Jain heritage, Jain temples and artifacts. For example, it all started with Jain heritage of Sindh. My first tour from Lahore to Tharparkar, I took my students with me, and that's how the first documentation started. I will just quickly go to the slides. Here you can see we used whatever was available to us. You can see here there is a truck. A truck was in Tharparkar from Punjab, and it was the driver was delivering some goods, and he, after delivering the goods, he had to get a U-turn. I saw him and I said, I need your services. He was surprised to know that what are you going to do with my truck. So I just asked him, please give us 10 minutes and position the truck where I would request. So he was kind enough, and we used this height to take this kind of photographs. This is another important story. We were there, and a few steps away there is a mosque. We wanted to document whole of the temple, and we required this ladder, and someone told us that this letter is in the there in mosque. So when I went to the mosque, I requested the imam to borrow us that letter. So he asked about the reason, and the surprising thing for me and the good thing for everyone for us to know that once I told him everything that why we were here, he was surprised and he was happy, and he deputed two of his students, that you will stay with these people, these guests, and will facilitate them for everything. He is imam of the masjid, but he knew that this place belongs to some religion, and when we explained to them it's belongs to Jainism, and then he started kind of sharing that message to the his students and community as well, that this is a religious building and we should also protect it. People from Lahore, all the way from Lahore came here to document it, then it's our duty to preserve it. So that's how a kind of on ground activity and on ground awareness was given to the people. Then we have Nagar Parka temple. Good news is this: these both temples have been repaired now and restored in a good condition using the work which we prepared, and that's how earlier I was referring to this truck. It was not an easy task because things were difficult. I have already shared some of these images, but I always want to share these because these are very good memories for me as well. And Sulekji once also commented that it was, not good to do this when we have no medical facilities around. But it was my passion to document, and that's how we improvised. The only thing matter that we wanted to make use of the time. I traveled with my team, and then from day to night, I spent whole day there. And sometimes we forget to have a breakfast, and then this is the beauty of the field work. And after that field work, this is the thing which we produced, the elevations. For the first time, drawings, detailed drawings and section of these important places, these Jain temples, first floor temple, ground floor, and also other things. This is other temple. That's how things were going. I just would like you people to see because we were the first person to do this after centuries, and that's how we also improvised. This is our official. This is my official vehicle, and that's how we used it. It's a area close to border. There are also some security reasons here. We were allowed to work only for a few days, so it was there was no time to waste. These are the drawings, and then we come to Punjab, where we have this famous Shaktambar Parashwanath temple. This is me laying on the floor taking photographs. This is the entrance of the temple, which was opened after 40 years almost. And to add to this, Ashwini knows about this, that this is being controlled by Maulana. There is a madrasa and mosque inside it. But the good thing was when we talked to this Maulana, he was also full of praise, and he said that he covered the wall. I mean, by using the flexes, large flexes which were prepared sometime. So in order to protect the drawings and the paintings, so he just put those flexes against the wall so that the kids should not scratch it, because he knew that this place belongs to a religion. And now what he's doing, he's also doing the same thing, giving religious education to the people. And in the centuries ago or decades ago, the purpose of the building was the same. So that's how it was a kind of friendly behavior of the people. So look what happens when a temple is not, opened, or it's closed for more than 30 or 40 years. These are the bads. Am I audible? Nitinji, can you hear me?
Yes, Hamid ji, you are audible.
Okay, sorry, we have shortfall of electricity. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, you can carry on.
Okay, I just better move on. So that's how we started with our journey for the documentation of these places. It was the basement. I didn't went inside at that time, but maybe now I will again visit the site and go. And after that hard work, that was the reward. The painting, the fresco painting we discovered for the first time inside the temple, the roofing, the wall. So these are the temples which we recorded in different cities. You can also find the list on the web, on internet as well. We are just in a process to modify and to make addition to these maps. So let's talk about what kind of buildings we have. When we talk about the heritage, the physical remains and the tangible remains, we have all types of buildings. We have temples with basements, temples with satsang hall, samadhis, community halls, buildings, schools, markets, and cities associated with bhabdas. The word bhabda is also known here. We have cities named with Bhabda city. There are issues related to the exploration. We have administrative issues, financial issues, and we also have, a kind of limited facilities, and not a single government is, not a single monument is listed. The focus is on Indus Valley and other Gandhara and the Sikh heritage, and we are not allowed to take photographs because the buildings are mostly private properties. So once you are there and you introduce yourself as a student or as a academician, so they have this fear that their property would get lost. So there are so many insecurities among the people as well. And we also, today I'm sharing this one of the experience that they also ask the question that who are Jains? If you are worried for the Jain people, then why did they left? If that was their house, then why they didn't come back? So once they left the place, everyone can use it as per his own convenience. So there should be no complaint. So this is just a kind of sentiments of the people as well. So I, as a scholar or as a student, try to convince them that we also have our heritage there. No matter what happened, but we should respect that place. Now coming back with Jainism in Pakistan, teaching of Jainism in Pakistan. The focus is on Buddhism and Hinduism and also Mughals and Gandhara and the Indus Valley. In Punjab University, we are offering a course on university level. I added this course in my BS and MPhil program that's called Jainism and Jain Heritage in Pakistan. Uh, uh, 2 years ago, I was able to get the approval of that course. Related to this, no such conference and seminar or workshop are being arranged in this here in Pakistan about Jainism, which makes it very difficult for people like us who are doing limited work to jump into those conferences and then talk about Jainism. I do this. Whenever there is a conference, I try to relate it with Jainism and Jain heritage and religious history, interfaith harmony. So that's all. And the biggest thing which we have also observed that the heritage is mixed with Hindus. Everybody know, okay, if there is a temple that is related to Hindus, no one is there to, to guide them, or they don't have knowledge, they don't have the basic understanding that temple is related to Jainism or Jain people. This is what we are also doing. We have limited books and articles, and another book is being written by our friend in Urdu. So that's a good thing. Again, Professor Sulekh ji and Iqbal ji and Narinder Parson ji, they are supervising the research, and we are also doing further work for the research. There are problems, very limited amount of information, literature is available, and scholars are not trained in the field. It's not considered an ideal field. Jain art, Jain heritage, Jain archaeology, and Jain manuscripts. Study of the religion and its philosophy, that is also limited. So that's how scholarship are just started coming, and job opportunities are not still there, and appreciation for the work is also not there. Also, we although we are fighting for it and trying to win hearts of the people through the message of the Jainism that is close to Islam. So this is how I understand this religion, and I just teach the other people as well that this philosophy is close to Islam. That's why we were living side by side like brothers, and we should start reviving that thing as well. Jain art, we have all the art pieces. We have Tirthankars, we have art in the form of sculptures, icons and idols, inscriptions, wood carving, mosaic work, glass work, tile work, metal work, stone inlay work, you name any. We find all example of art of Jain art here, but understanding about the art is not there. Interpretation of the art is not there. Again, it is associated with Hinduism. So that's how I have to work continuously to educate the people. Jain artifacts in Pakistan, we don't know total number of those Jain artifacts. We don't know about the locations. We have idea that these are in museum or private collections, but no catalog is there. Archival record is not there. No classification is there. And also they are often mixed and displayed with Buddhist and Hindu art. Apart from Jain Gallery Lahore Museum, and how many paintings, how many sites, how many sculptures, we still have no idea. We have trying to get information about it. These are the temples, these are the buildings, like I mentioned, dharamshalas, hostels, community halls, school, bazaar, cities. This is a quick look. Projects are still there. Pilot project was done by Peter Flugel back in 2015 and 16, and I took that project, and then I'm in contact with the people, but still a major project is in process, and I hope to carry on. We have some information about Lahore, or all the information about Lahore, and then we will move toward other cities. The next thing is preservation and conservation of Jain monuments in Punjab, documentation of oral history before and after partition, and I related with religious tourism, peace and tolerance, and interdisciplinary research is needed. Religious tourism and Jainism. Like I mentioned, that my all-time opinion and desire and wish is whenever I attend a talk, I do float this idea that let's add another chapter of Jain tourism in Pakistan, where we have Buddhist trail, Sikh trail, Hindu heritage trail, then we have Sikh corridor. Then why can't we have a Jain heritage trail? So this is the idea which I'm always, and due to the tourism activities, heritage is being preserved and restored. I'm talking about the Buddhist and the Sikh communities. There, the heritage is there. The people are coming, and the buildings are being restored and rehabilitated. Awareness is being created. So what we need to push is Jainism part in tourism as well. That's how you can see Buddhist monks are visiting the places, museums, international community I'm talking about. And then it gets to another stage when there is public-private partnership and joint ventures, and archaeological excavations are being conducted to find more and more evidences of those religions. Then why can't we work on Jainism as well? We should preserve, explore, and document this heritage and develop a tourism industry named on Jain philosophy and Jain heritage. So I see bright future of this tourism ahead. There is a proposal from my university, which I always follow, that I would like to introduce a center of Jaina studies in my department.
You're audible, sir.
I'm trying to get, sorry? I'm trying to get approval of the Jain Studies Center as well. Objective are the same. We mentioned the publication of Jainism, Jaina sources, and also maintain archival record. These are the main objectives. We also have way forward, where I want to extend this demographic study in each year, each province, and till 1951. Based on this, we will start this tourism activity collaboration with the national and international organization and Jain studies in Pakistan. We will also make it a vibrant study, and I'm also looking forward to the organizations who can hold a joint seminar and attract fundings for the conservation and Jain heritage, and also their celebration of Jain festivals here in Pakistan as well. So that's all. As per online information, Jain community is living all around the world. They have literacy rate excellent, and also they have the business. This information I always share with my people, that Jain community is the richest communities, and once we are there, we are in a position to document the heritage. They definitely will come and visit. So the question I always have to face in every gathering, that we should preserve, but for whom? There are no Jain people coming. So I leave that question up to you people. Of course, this Jain tourism thing definitely will contribute in the economy of the economic side. I will not go into the details. But I will focus on that in the present context of development of Jain tourism in Pakistan, where we have the opening of the Kartarpur corridor and revival of Buddhist religious practice in the Naran site in Taxla and Takhtabai, and more efforts are being made to explore and document religious antiquity of the country. Archaeological as well as historical record do testify to the presence of the Jain religion in different parts of the country. Among ancient religions, the Indian subcontinent, Jainism is the only one remained a practicing religion, and historical records mention the presence of Jain community in the major cities. So the study of Jainism is an important and as important as any other field for us in our academic, and it is our academic, religious, and moral duty, national duty, to work for the protection and awareness of the Jain heritage of the country, and to acknowledge the services of the Jain community in the socio-religious and economic history of Pakistan. For this, we also need the support of the community, the university, the Jain chairs, schools, centers, institutions, and organizations to collaborate with us. Because in the end, I would say it's the work which I'm doing at my own part, but there is a lot of work which you need to do at your part in order to save this part of the heritage which is still unexplored, so that we can pass this information to our next generation. So I thank you very much. I thank you all, and Jai Janinder, and I welcome all in my city, Lahore. Thank you. Nitin ji, can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
Nitin bhai, you are not audible. Even Professor Hameed has been asking the same question.
Am I audible, sir?
Nitin bhai, Professor Hameed, and all of us are inquiring what happened to your audio.
Can anyone hear me? I guess Nitin is not. I think someone need to call him. I'm done from my side. I hope there was some internet failure.
ನಿತಿನ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಆಗಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ